Today we're going to be talking about browse. So browse is a function built into Fastcase 7 that allows you to explore your content but also do a number of useful things with that content. I guess is the best way to put it, for lack of a formal statement. So you find the browse menu under this big blue button here, browse libraries below the search bar on the main page of the platform. So I click Browse Libraries. Now, right away, you are going to get a menu of all of the sources that make up your content library for your default jurisdiction. So if you are a person that accesses Fastcase via a bar association, typically your default jurisdiction is going to be the state where the bar association is located, plus the associated federal materials. So, associated federal materials being case law from district courts in your default state, publications that relate to your state, so on and so forth. So, for this example, I have Virginia and federal materials. Now, you do have the option, so you're not limited to just your default jurisdiction. We can change this browse menu to any jurisdiction we desire by coming up here to this little bar here. So we've got the main search bar that follows us from the main page up here at the top, and then below that we have a bar that says change jurisdiction by typing. So I could come over here and I could put, California, or I could do Oregon. And then you just select it. And now my default is Oregon and federal. Now, as I was noting, so I'm going to go back to Virginia. As I was noting, this is your menu, and your content is parsed out by type. So you've got your kind of overarching columns here, or sections. Primary material on the left, secondary material on the right. Your cases and court materials are going to be your opinions and your court rules. Legislative materials are going to be your constitutions, your statutes, and then so on and so forth, with the materials being pretty self-explanatory based upon the title on the corresponding section. Now, beside each source, you're going to notice that you're going to have a series of icons. So if we use the Virginia statutes, for example, I hover over Virginia statutes, I have three icons. First, I've got this little darkened eye icon. This is going to tell me when a source is updated. So, for example, the Virginia statutes, if I hover over it, it tells me how current it is based upon the last legislative change. So the last change was House Bill 5049 for the state of Virginia. It's also going to tell me when the last time an update was checked for. Most of the state legislative materials they do what we call incremental updates, so you're actually checking for updates almost daily, or at least every few days. To the right of that, you have a magnifying glass. The magnifying glass is going to allow you to apply that one source as a filter. So it's best just to show you. So I click the magnifying glass. Virginia statutes now becomes below the search bar, and I can just run a search. So I run a search for fraud. And then on the left-hand side here, so this is my results page. On the left-hand side here, where we find our sources, we can talk more in detail about that in another video. You can see that all of my search results are related to Virginia statutes. Let's get back to the main page, open back up our browse library, and talk about the third icon, which is going to be the outlines. The outline icon looks like an icon that looks like horizontal lines of differing lengths, I guess is the best way to show it. You click it, it opens up the outline for that source. You have your various editions of the statute. So these are the codified editions. Now, some people will ask, if I open up this list and let's say that 2020 was not available, instead we just had 2019, they assume that the statute is not updated, and I point out that the editions are codifications. So what we do is a codification is all of the statutes, including adjustments for a year or two, that's put into a new edition, and then it's released by the state legislature. And our updates, of course, are incremental, and we kind of redline or input those updates as they occur. So we input those updates into the latest available codification. So, like, let's assume that Virginia only did codifications every couple of years. The 2019 edition could have updates for things happening, let's say, in 2021. So the 2019 codification is the latest codification, but is current through the latest legislative action, I guess is the long way to put that. Open up an outline. Of course, you have your various titles. If you open up a title, it's going to open up the chapter. So the point of an outline view is exactly what it sounds like. It is designed to view anything that has a table of contents style ordering, so your compilations and whatnot. It allows you just to explore it like you would the table of contents in a book. So everything's in order. You have it broken out by your sections. Once you hit these hyperlinked blue titles of sections, of course, if you open up one of these, let's find one that is good. You open up like the Parliament, for example. It puts the text of the statute section on the right. It leaves the outline view on the left, so you can just kind of move through your various sections to see the text. Now, on your outline view, you'll also notice that there are these little icons beside each organizational section that allows you to download the entirety of a title, a chapter, an article. Basically, it allows you to download organizational parts of compiled materials or anything with an outline view up to 500 pages at a time. So if I wanted to download Chapter 1 of the Virginia Statutes, well, Chapter 1 of Title 1 of the Virginia Statutes, I would click it. It asks me, are you sure? I click yes. It's then going to start the download. In the bottom right, it tells me that 500-page warning. And then it's going to, of course, download Chapter 1 of the... And then I get a little green box down here when it's done. And then, of course, it places those compiled materials wherever my offline downloads go. Now, once you download a statute section, so if I just downloaded Chapter 1, if you need to re-download it or just locate it again, there is a little cloud here on the top right. I'm pointing to the cloud here. It's called the export queue. I have the ability to do it again. So you actually could just click on the cloud to re-download that chapter once more. Okay, so let's go back to our browse view. And yeah, I have nothing to add. So that is, this video is our browse view in a nutshell. If you have any questions about browsing, please let me know.